Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the call.
Dear Supervisor, please be advised that the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors will meet at 7 p.m. on July 21st, 2025 in the county boardroom. All county board members' claims are due in the county clerk's office by noon on July 7th, 2025, so they can be prepared for the audit committee approval. Sincerely, Mary Martin, County Clerk.
Roll call.
Bridget Turner.
Here.
Stacy Klein. Richard Seisha.
Here.
Lori Steverson.
Here.
Andy Todd.
Here.
Richard Anderson.
Here.
Kevin Adams.
Here.
Dick Miller.
Here.
Kevin Wallem.
Here.
John Austin.
Here.
Don Waldera. Robert Becker.
Here.
Renee Lyon.
Here.
Kellen Nelson.
Here.
David Larson.
Here.
Jeannie Nutter.
Here.
Ron Johnson.
Here.
15 to 2.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Stacy Klein may be a little bit late.
Okay.
She did send me a message.
All right. She's coming though?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, certify the open meeting laws have been posted with notification and posting. We have a 11-item agenda, looking for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Turner, seconded by Spezia. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That's carried. All right. Approval of the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Johnson, seconded by Supervisor Whalen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
No? I said that too soon.
Be opposed.
I know she's not opposed, so. Thank you. Appearances. Strategic Plan Review, Innovative Public Advisors, Jess Wills and Jay Schonberg, Schonbo. There she is.
Evening.
Hi.
This is Jess Wilds from Innovative Public Advisors, and we had contracted with Jess and Jay a while back to put together a strategic plan for us for the 2025 to 2028 strategic plan years. Jess is here tonight to present that information. You would have received this as an email individually to each of you. So that's what Jess is going to cover this evening.
Hey.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Jess Wilds. I appreciate the opportunity to present to you. Hopefully you can see my screen. I put together a PowerPoint that sort of at a high level goes over the strategic plan, knowing that you all have a copy of it. And I'm happy to pass along the way, but just wanted to, first of all, say thank you to everybody for all of your work and participation in this process. We kicked it off back in April. You may remember this time when everyone came together, the department head team, elected officials, and really had a full day of discovery and connection and learning about Trempealeau County. That greatly helped us sort of kick off the process and create a document that will serve as a framework for your future progress. Again, thank you all for being a part of it, for having one-off conversations, email ideas, participating in person and online surveying. We feel that we received a lot of feedback and a lot of really genuine interaction and thoughtful interaction that helped us shape a plan that we're proud of, and we hope that you are too. This is your plan moving forward, and something that will take you in a collective direction as you go through these next 3 years. So the strategic plan that you have is many pages. It's a document that I'm going to kind of just hit on each section within. And if you don't have it, please let me know. I can pull it up on the screen as well too. But I just thought I would kind of high level talk through each of the sections. First one's really the comprehensive organizational profile. It's really all about Trempealeau County, the organization. Um, and so you all know about Trempealeau County, but that was something that was learned throughout the process and something that we felt was really important to also articulate. Um, One of the bonuses I feel like to be able to do your strategic plan was also be able to do to serve as your interim communications director for a short period of time. I got to have some really inside experience learning some of your just your culture and how things work for the county, getting to have exposure to Becky and her team, and being able to really learn what those day-to-day operations look like. Another part of our process was an environmental scan. So this is more toward the beginning of the process after we kicked off the discovery phase. We really took a bit of time to research Trumbull County, counties nearby, all of those external factors and some of the internal ones too that really impact where you're going. And that, you can budget for as much as you can, but if there's other things going on out in the world, you need to be aware of them too, because they'll really shape how you can proceed and what you need to do to get to your goals. So in the document itself, we have more details on each of the factors that we looked at, demographics, natural resources technology, the emerging trends and threats. One of the goals of the strategic planning process in general is to really look at your mission, vision, and values. And first of all, see if they still rang true, if you resonated with them, what the feedback was from all of the groups that took part in this. And it was pretty collective in response that the current vision and mission statements back created in 2016 to 2020 were just a little bit wordy. So we wanted to be a little bit more succinct in coming up with a new vision for the future and one that was really pulling from all of the great feedback and information that we received throughout the way. So on this slide, there's a lot of information. You may not be able to see it well, but there are some quotes that were directly from some of the surveys that we did. We received really wonderful feedback from the elected officials and staff of all different levels throughout the organization, talking about what their vision for the future is. So we put all of that together and sort of felt like there were a few key themes: community and belonging, safety and well-being, economic opportunity, growth and development, collaboration and services, partnerships, and pride and identity. So we went from your previous vision statement, which I believe you have printed off tonight, to this. Trumbull County envisions safe, healthy, and vibrant communities where all people are supported, empowered, and prepared to thrive today and into the future. This statement is meant to be aspirational, and I think it really is that. I'd be happy to pause anytime throughout the presentation if you want to talk through the vision, or feel free to let me know. Um, Otherwise, I can continue on.
Continue.
Great. I will. Next up is the mission. The mission is really that core purpose. Why does the organization exist? And so now the mission statement that we've recommended based on all of your feedback and information throughout this process is: Trumbull County exists to serve its people by responsibly stewarding public resources, delivering essential services, enhancing quality of life, and protecting the natural environment for current and future generations. Your mission is rooted in all of this public, a deep commitment to public service. And from the process, everything that we've done is really the mission's driven through the values that have also been uncovered. So we'll keep going there. You may remember a document that has your current values listed. And throughout this process, we did a number of exercises to help kind of create, visual trends and understand what values really are driving or the driving forces behind the decisions you make every day. And so We kept some of the values that you already had articulated in your previous document, but really also expanded them through the process here. We added communication, sort of expanded collaboration and partnerships. Inclusivity was in there, but now also diversity. So you can take a look here, and within the document itself, it provides a nice sort of description as to each of the values and why it's important to you. You may remember the SWOT exercise that we did as part of the process where we were in the room and coming up with different strengths of our organization, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That was a really helpful exercise, and not only understanding more about your organization and where you want to go, but kind of making sure that everybody's sort of on the same page. So we were able to really kind of boil everything down into these four different categories here. And within the strategic plan, it kind of dives into each of them and, why they're important and why your organization needs to be aware. And as you move forward, knowing what those threats are, knowing what the weaknesses are so that you can address them so they don't get in the way of you reaching your goals and achieving your priorities. As we continued through that process and got through the SWOT analysis, really five unique priorities seemed to come into play. There were a few others that I would say are also important, and I've listed them below. And they include, and you might not be able to see them, but housing and childcare, environmental stewardship, employee recruitment and retention, and accessibility and inclusion. So those came in kind of very close to the top, but the top five strategic priorities are fiscal sustainability, economic development, communications, public infrastructure and connectivity, and public safety. Fiscal sustainability was by far the most commonly mentioned, referred to priority when looking ahead to the future, current challenge, current threat, current opportunity. Fiscal sustainability is so important. And we put a few different goals into each of the priorities, things that can be used to try to become more fiscally sustainable. So I'll have them up on the screen here, three goals. But really, there's also some action steps to help you achieve those goals that I think are um, attainable. So attainable actions. And I listed a few of them here. There are more in the document themselves, but they include conducting a comprehensive financial review, identifying inefficiencies and opportunities, aligning capital improvement planning with strategic priorities. It's something that can be done moving forward, seeking grant opportunities, and really kind of looking to diversify the funding sources. I know that's really big for Trempealeau County and for everyone as you look toward various revenues moving forward to fund your priorities. Number two, economic development and tourism as well. This is a significant factor, and some of those other priorities that maybe didn't make it to the top five fall into this category a bit when it comes to, childcare and housing. So it's really being strategic and intentional on your economic development initiatives. You have a great county executive in place and now a communications director and also UW Extension. There's so many different individuals in your organization and then throughout the county who can help kind of move this forward in a real way. So there's four goals into this section and then several different initiatives and action steps. So do you think looking to create an economic development strategic plan for the county may be something to look into? There's lots of different resources out there to do that. And then partnerships and relationships are probably the biggest action step is to really be active with those chambers and economic development corporations, small businesses, bringing people in and engaging them in meaningful ways to help sort of expand all of your activities with economic development can only help. Communications, internal and external. We've already get an A+ for your work so far in investing in communications at Trempealeau County by establishing your communications department. Really excited for you to now have a communications director full-time there and hope Lexi's doing well. I'm really excited for her and what she'll be able to do with your team moving forward. Communications came up throughout the strategic planning process in various different ways, both internally within the organization, better, more cleaner communication, people knowing what's going on and when. A communications department will help serve as that centralized place for communicating interdepartmentally, but also externally. So in tandem with the strategic plan, you may remember that we did a 3-year communications plan, which is also included as an appendice in this document. And that's really a roadmap for communicating to all the different audience groups, and it has its own goals and strategies within there. I think that this particular priority is going to help you achieve all of your other ones. So it's incredibly important. Number 4, public infrastructure and connectivity. This came up quite a bit, especially in our surveying. You know, having infrastructure and the broadband and the access to services for everyone in the county, every single person. So that's a huge goal. And there's so many different ways to achieve it. There's different funding sources, mapping, different ways to understand really what are your needs, where are your areas that um, you, you need to invest in. So developing sort of a county-wide plan for that is very helpful. I can continue. And then public safety. Public safety is so important. It's always on the top of the list. There's something about having a safe community that helps you do everything else well. If your community isn't safe, then it's pretty tough to hit any of your other goals. So continuing to invest in public safety, support public safety, and also building that public trust. So, you know, some of the thoughts that we had were maybe there could be some kind of citizens academy or communication strategy to help sort of bolster that public awareness about public safety in Trempealeau County, because you're such a welcoming, warm place and safe. And people want to live and visit those kind of places. And so getting that out there is really, really important. So there's a number of different initiatives and action steps associated with public safety in the plan. And these are just a few here. Implementation, we do have a section at the end sort of talking about now that you have the plan, what now? You know, you don't put it aside. It's time to actually use it. And so this is really meant to be a working document, something that you're referencing, something that you may pull sections out of, like maybe the vision or values and those statements, and have them posted in offices and public spaces so that everyone's kind of aware of this shared pathway that you've created and are going along the same way. And I got to say that because you have this plan today, it doesn't mean that your priorities aren't going to change. Things happen in the world that sometimes impact a plan like this. So our recommendation is to always be checking in on it, and at least maybe an intentional one day, sort of a year, to look at the plan, sort of like the discovery session that we did back in April, to sort of evaluate the plan, making sure that it still is hitting the mark, making sure that other factors didn't come into play that are really now more pressing than others that have been articulated, and then make adjustments as needed. It doesn't have to be the end all be all now, but it's in a really good place based on where you're all at right now. So I guess that's an important step of it. It's to continue to check in, to use it as a leading sort of guiding document, and then to be tracking success throughout. So that's all I have for you tonight. I'm happy to walk through the document if that's helpful. Otherwise, let's send it out to you all. We're just incredibly grateful for you working with innovative public advisors on the strategic plan. I hope that it's a document that you're proud of and that it reflects your mission and vision values moving forward.
Thank you, Jess. Are there questions for Jess? Like I said, I did email that out to everyone if you want to take a look at that, and then we can continue to work through that in upcoming meetings. Thank you so much, Jess. It was a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jess.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate you.
Okay, item B, UW Extension Annual Report. Is Sarah Torbert here? No, not here. We'll go to administrative update then.
All right, I've got a few things here. I would like to first call up Lexi Boynton, and she's gonna, you may want to tell me if that's the correct way to say your last name. You can come right up to the middle microphone, and if you want to just turn it on. And Lexi joined us 2 weeks ago, and so she's our communications director now. So I wanted to introduce you to her because she's going to be helping in a lot of different ways in various committees and initiatives that we take on. One thing that she's kicked off already and starting to put together is our internal newsletter. And so she's working on putting that together as we speak, and we'll have that out in August. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lexi. Hi, Renee. Hi, Kevin. I've met a few of you throughout attending some meetings, and I will be possibly joining some more so I can continue to meet you throughout the coming months. The first couple of weeks, I've just been getting to know my team and work with them and see what we can do to move forward and get their input on different things. And Becky mentioned it, we're working through our internal newsletter. We've got a few more things to add, and then we'll be going to the department head meeting and just getting their involvement on that. And then really looking at our social media right away and where we can improve with some fun projects coming up that we're excited to share with you guys.
And she's got a list that's ready to go. We're letting her get her feet wet a little bit here, but a couple follow-ups. The visitor guide is in the waiting. I was contacted today, so we're getting ready to gear up on that, as well as putting together an RFP for the GEM grant again and getting that out so that we get our tourism website up and running. So all things that will be coming soon.
Yes, but great to meet you, and
Welcome.
thank you. Looking forward to learning more about all of you.
Thanks for coming by, Lexi. Appreciate it. Then I'm going to invite Stacy up. She's just going to touch base with us on direct deposit with this change over to UKG for our payroll. There's some changes that will be coming, and so this is one of them. Stacy, you want to share?
We're gonna go mandatory direct deposit. It will save you guys time, money, it'll save us money, checks, and mailing. You'll get your money right away. I know this is kind of hard for some of you. Most of you are on direct deposit right now. We have already started getting all employees on direct deposit. I think June 30th, I gave everyone a deadline. Still a couple committee members, public members out there, and some of you county board members, but we wanted to have this done and transitioned before we transition to the new system. That way you don't have to worry about entering it in. I'll have it entered in the system when we start fresh. There is a form on your desk if you aren't doing direct deposit. If you can not email it to me, we've had fraud come through before, so please bring it to your next committee meeting, give it to a department head that's there, drop it off in Mary's office, drop it off with HR, or bring it to the next county board meeting. It's not like it has to be done tomorrow. We're just trying to get everybody and everything cleaned up.
When do you guys officially switch over to the new?
The new UKG payroll system, we're talking about doing double stamp and checking everything in the month of August. Maybe.
Maybe, okay.
We've got a lot of things going on. We really want to test things out. We have a lot of things we need to test out of different various departments, the way things are done. So we're getting it all on track. It's just a lot to get into one line. Do you guys have any
Stacy,
questions?
I do. Will you be connecting us with some sort of e-statement with
You
any
will
of
once
that?
we hit the new system. You will not right now.
Okay. Yeah, we
and-
don't right now.
No, and I think the treasurer's office mails your stubs to you. That I'm unsure on. Is it? Okay. Yep. So once that we hit that UKG system, you can log in and you'll see it right there. There won't, that's gonna save that extra printing fee also.
So Stacy, my understanding correctly, when that happens, the treasurer will no longer be sending out the statements via mail.
Correct?
Good.
Yep. Everyone can access them in their system,
Okay.
along with their W-2,
Okay.
which is gonna be really nice. Yeah, when it works, let's get it there.
You got a little ways to get there. Stacy
yeah.
has been just a champion, and she's been doing such a great job in getting us to that point, so
Almost there.
really appreciate her.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Stacy.
If you have any questions, let me know or Mary know, then we'll figure it out.
You're gonna be back later? for
Yep,
the
I'll
next-
come back. I'm
Okay.
gonna go work on payroll. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Stacy. So lastly, I'm going to take a little bit more time because I think it's a good point, or a good reflection point right now. I'm at a year and a half with all of you, and it has been a wonderful experience, and I just want to talk a little bit about this new position that you took on as a visionary type of thing when we talk about strategic planning. All of the reasoning and things that you talked about with WCA on why you might want to bring on a county administrator. And that's been a year and a half now that you unanimously decided to move forward in that. So just to cover again and just reminding individuals that this position was created as a dual position, a county administrator and HR director. So you have the dual position. The county administrator position leads a team over 500 employees across more than 20 departments, serves more than 30,000 residents, and oversees a 2025 budget of $105 million. As the administrator, responsible for change, focused on efficiency, accountability, and strategic growth. So during this time, 1.5 years, what have we gotten accomplished? We've led long-term financial sustainability efforts, implementing that 5-year capital improvement plan, which contributed to an improved outlook and credit rating from S&P Global. The county's transition to an administrator-led structure was also viewed favorably by S&P, and it was part of that overall assessment. They were very pleased with that decision. Have delivered steady and strategic HR leadership to minimize legal risk to the county, and have supported department heads through complex personnel challenges. Oversaw the elimination of a director-level position, resulting in almost $100,000 in annual savings, and implemented organizational improvements that enhanced oversight of insurance coverage, thereby resulting in an additional $98,000 in recovered overpayments. Ensured the retention of ARPA funds from the health department by identifying and reallocating almost $180,000 towards critical software systems that support countywide operations that Stacy's talking about. These funds had not been previously allocated and were under scrutiny to be revoked. We had a lot of conversations with Department of Health at that time. Administrator research found eligible uses allowed that the county could use these financial resources to fund a significant operational need, which is purchasing the financial and HR software systems of both current systems that we have now are antiquated, the paper trail that we're doing. Organized internal and countywide leadership meetings to strengthen communication and collaboration, resulting in improved coordination, more effective use of staff resources, and expanded opportunities to partner with communities across the region. Facilitated connections between local communities and housing developers, helping to spur residential development. One project is actually currently moving forward. We can't talk about that right now quite yet, but we'll get there. And another is in process with promising potential. Secured almost $40,000 a year for an anticipated 3 years, totaling almost $120,000 in a multi-year Travel Wisconsin grant to support regional tourism. This advances our strategic goals to enhance communications, promote local attractions, and boost local business activity and sales tax revenue. That's that $40,000 we got for the first year. We'll be applying now again for the second and third years. It's anticipated when you get the first year that second and third are expected. This role emphasizes building strong relationships with state legislators and local stakeholders, often uniting partners around shared goals. When a $300,000 county grant was at risk, I worked collaboratively with our team and leveraged key relationships to help influence state and business leaders, ultimately preserving the funding. As part of the county administrator one-year performance evaluation in this new role, the county board and department heads were invited to participate in a 360-degree review of the county administrator position. While the full results remain confidential as part of personnel records, I believe it's important to share a general overview of the feedback received. The review was conducted in January. 27 individuals participated, including county board supervisors and department heads. They completed a questionnaire distributed by our IT department and included 17 scaled questions rated 1 through 5, with 1 indicating needs improvement and 5 indicating excellent, and 2 open-ended response questions. So to offer a snapshot of the results, each respondent was asked to please rate the county administrator on or how the county administrator maintains a positive attitude and fosters a supportive work environment. 89% rated good, very good, or excellent. Please rate the county administrator on overall communication skills, clarity, effectiveness, responsiveness. 92% rated this satisfactory, good, very good, or excellent. Please rate the county administrator's overall performance of the county administrator. 89% rated this satisfactory, good, very good, or excellent. Across all 17 scaled questions, the lowest rating received was 84% satisfactory or better, indicating broad support and positive feedback from both supervisors and department heads. Very proud of that. I share these results to show the strong foundation that you've created of support and confidence in this administrator role. And that's always my hope, is that this role is for the future of this county, because this is the best role or best type of government that you can in place, at least my opinion, and WCA's. The direction we are taking as an organization is also solidified in that response, the response that was taken. At its core, the role of county administrator is about providing vision for public service, leading a team and the community with transparency, managing resources responsibly, bringing people together to solve very complex challenges. When WCA asked me to go and talk with other counties that are considering bringing on a county administrator, my last comment is always, honestly, I don't know how you can't do this. The issues and the things that we've dealt with, and people at this table that know in some of those situations are very complex, and so it takes management to really be handling all of those things. It's a position that must translate the goals of county leadership into real progress, fostering accountability, innovation, highlights a positive workplace culture, and creates a culture that puts residents first, providing the best services possible that we can. And we talk about that at our staff meetings, and how we as departments are all striving to improve and provide better services across the board. I think we do a great job already, but there's always room for improvement. And we find that, and we discuss it, and we break it down, and we try to figure out how we can make those improvements. So as a part of an email that you received earlier, you have an article in here from that's on professional management drives local government efficiency and effectiveness. And basically, that's an article that's put together through the ICMA, the Counties and Management Association. And so they look at professional guidance, and they reinforce the finding that forms of government that are led professionally by a government manager are nearly 10% more efficient than those that operate under the different form of government, which at the county level is what you had previously, was the administrator, administrator coordinator, yeah. The other option is the executive, which is an elected position as this position. So that's all I've got for this evening.
Thank you. Any questions at all?
It might be worth noting too that the elected position is only for the large counties.
For 500,000, I believe, yeah.
And the bulk of the state of Wisconsin is using the administrative position, so we're not alone in that, so, anyway. Okay, thank you. Information, presentation, discussion of Trumbull County-owned land. Supervisors Bridget Turner and Dick Miller. You want to just stay where you're at, or you want to get up and use the mic up there, or what?
I think we can stay where we're at. Bridget? Yeah. Okay, because we're going to ask someone to be at the podium, I think, pretty soon here. So,
Oh, okay.
maybe I can just make a couple remarks and Bridget can fill in where I fail to maybe cover things. We have been giving quite a bit of consideration to the importance of sharing information with the entire county board in terms of the properties and ownership that the county has of these properties and how these properties are utilized at present. There has been in the past, over the years, quite a bit of discussion regarding holdings of land and are we using it or are we not, or do we need it or whatever. And we're not here to discuss that tonight. We're here to simply share information regarding the properties that the county does own. Many of you have not been on the board too awfully long, and you probably aren't totally aware of the properties that the county does own. And I think it's important that this information be shared so you have a better understanding. Bridget, do you have some things you want to add to that?
I think you pretty much covered it. But we'll give Ann the floor, and she can go through those properties.
Yeah, I was tasked with doing a visual for everybody. So
Yes.
GIS gives you the map and the information behind it. So let's see if I can share my screen. I hate public speaking. I'm shaking like a leaf. I know, I do it all the time. I just I
And
just
we're
hate
a
it.
friendly group. We're a
Yeah.
friendly group.
Yeah.
You need to be shaky.
So
You
I'm
do
gonna
a
go.
great job.
I'm gonna go through each property, just a little tidbit, a map of the property, and on the left there, you'll see where it's located, over here. And then you'll see a blue outline of the property. The first one is the Trempealeau County Healthcare Facility in Pigeon Falls. That was purchased in 2010. This is the Trempealeau County Healthcare Facility in the town of Lincoln. It was deeded in 1899, and it's approximately 112 acres north of State Road 121. Then there's Trempealeau County Healthcare Facility Adult Family Home in Arcadia, purchased in 1980. Trempealeau County Healthcare Facility Community-Based Residential Facility here in Whitehall, purchased in 1979. Trempealeau County Healthcare Facility Adult Family Home in Independence. There's two there. Purchased in 1992 and 2008. Trempealeau County Healthcare Facility Adult Home in the town of Preston, approximately 70 acres and home north of Arneson Ridge Road, purchased in 1938, along with the land south of Arneson Ridge Road, which we'll get to next. So the land south is approximately 110 acres, purchased in 1938 with the land with the home and land I just showed you. This is just vacant land, meaning there's no structure there. South of 121, across from the healthcare center, approximately 434 acres south of State Road 121. I missed something up here. I gotta move up here. So we're back to the town of Preston. Our TV studio went and took some drone footage, photos, I should say, of the property on Arneson Ridge. And then they also went out and did drone photos south of 121. So you can get the lay of the land and elevations. Then there is the Trempealeau County Highway Department facility in the city of Whitehall, which is adjoining the land I just showed you south of 121. And I got a snippet of that right here in one of the drone photos, so. That's almost 29 acres. Then there's the Trempealeau County Highway facility in the city of Arcadia. It's a small little city block, city lot, 3.51 acres. There's Trempealeau County Highway facility in the city of Galesville, which is approximately 2 acres. Trempealeau County Highway facility in the city of Osseo, approximately 2.43 acres. Trempealeau County Highway facility in the village of Strum, approximately 2 acres. And then last but not least, Peatrick Park in the town of Arcadia, approximately 120 acres. Then that's used for camping, shelter rental, youth programs, stuff like that. And that's all I got. So if someone wants to go back and look at something, or has questions.
Go ahead.
It's my understanding too that there's also a lot of just little pieces of land along some of the highways and such.
Right, like
Yeah.
highway right-of-ways, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't put all
This
the,
is-
we would be here till
That
tomorrow
would be a
morning.
lot, yeah. I'm just curious, do you happen to know like the grand total of all those little pieces?
I don't have the grand total. Nick made a whole book. I don't have it here, but he made a whole binder full of those kinds of things. And I think we're gonna start looking into that too in the future.
Mr. Chair, Stacy, just to help answer that, with the property committee is looking into that, trying to get it back on the tax roll and off the county. And there's, like Ann said, there's a lot of them. So and Susan's working on exactly the best way to get rid of them, either through sales, auctioning, or whatever. She's looking into it now, and as soon as we come up with a solution, that we should move forward with that, just the smaller part, the pieces that are doing us absolutely no good.
They got it, yeah. Any other questions?
I certainly can. And I don't know if I'm cutting you off, Ann, so I don't want to.
No, you're not cutting me off.
I just wanted to briefly touch upon the letter that I had sent out. That was just purely looking at the county board's authority and specifically over county board or county-owned land. Sometimes I've gotten a little bit of questions about it. Essentially, the county board has authority over all county property. And just to clarify a little bit further in my letter, because I'm thinking that there's a little bit of ambiguity, I was purely looking at the property north and south of 121. I was not looking at anything within the city proper of Whitehall. So, just to clarify that as well. Any questions about it at all?
I got a question for Dick or
Okay.
Bridget. Since you guys are on the hospital board, have you had any issues out there with any of the land management for that particular land that the county hospital has out there? Or have we had any issues at all
Well, the
with
count,
the way you manage it? I think you guys do a good job.
yeah, I think the healthcare center does a great job. I do know that there has been some back and forth between the healthcare center and the county as to the baseball fields, who's putting in a porta potty, who's paying for this, who's paying for that. Ultimately, more often than not, the healthcare center pays most all of those bills and maintains it very well. But it's just, you know, we get these little bits and pieces of, well, there's this going on, there might be this, there's this, and who owns what and whatnot. So obviously Susan's been looking into, you know, it's all county property. So it would be upon this board to determine what happens and how those properties are utilized, obviously. You saw a lot of properties at the very beginning of Ann's presentation of facilities in various different communities. Those are all being utilized for healthcare and clients for the healthcare center currently. So, do either of you have anything
If I
to
could
add?
just, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jeannie.
I just wanted to remind, I think, Audie, you were on the Parks Committee when we had a lot of discussions with the healthcare center, and they made the decision that they wanted to be responsible for, you know, taking care of the park, because it is a county park out there. And they took down the old outhouses, the old bathrooms, put porta potties. They made the decision that they wanted to be responsible for that, because we had a lot of discussions back and forth with tourism, you know, with PTED, and that's how it all landed. So, and I'm not on PTED anymore, and I don't know if they've come back to further those discussions. There was an MOU that wasn't real, and Susan might remember this too. It was kind of like not really clear on who was doing what, but they made the decision they wanted to be responsible for that.
Can I add something to that?
Maintaining.
Go ahead, Mr. Miller.
There was a what's the right term? Something of understanding? Memorandum, thank you, of understanding, and it was the decision of the Board of Trustees that due to the confusion that has existed in the past and so forth, that the Board of Trustees felt it would be appropriate that since the healthcare center has been responsible and taken excellent care of the property out there, it's easier for the administration to make a decision and go through the process with the park board. Obviously, the cost of maintaining that has been the brunt of on the healthcare center. They've done a good job, and our discussion, I should say, with them has been that you know, they're maintaining a lot of this for their clients, but they welcome the citizens to use that facility, obviously when appropriate. And so the Board of Trustees has been supportive of moving that direction in terms of basically taking the responsibility for maintaining the operation out there. And if you get out that way, there's some walking trails. There's a very nice facility out there. I don't know, it's used off and on by the public, but certainly it's used daily when appropriate, when the weather is good, by the healthcare center and the clients there. So,
I did have a question. I know that park that's right next to the highway. Also, my real life job is also in the health and human services field, and I work with clients. With that public park there's not going to be, if any of the public goes to the county park and there happens to be a client or a patient there's not going to be any violation of the HIPAA or client laws. I know every state's different because I work in Minnesota, but there's not going to be any violation or possible lawsuits that I'm wondering. Working in that field in real life, just wondering. Or a question, basically,
And I can see Jerry's face going back there as well. I think it's fair to say that it's unlikely, it would require some more identification and things like that. That would be, again, not likely to happen with just somebody out in the, out on.
100%, And Jeannie, to reference, how this all happened, is that, we met with the parks, the PTED committee and so forth as a joint meeting. And there was a meeting, and then there was another meeting, then there was a subcommittee. And because of the legal liability we did go to our board of trustees and take down that outhouse because it wasn't fast enough. You know, I'm not one that is going to sit by the wayside and wait for a lawsuit. You know, there was big holes out there, and further research identified that the healthcare center pays all the insurance and stuff out on those properties. So again, in the past 127 years of the healthcare center operations, we have provided the funding for all of that. Now, regarding HIPAA, it's a public park. You know, so if a passerby uses it, which a lot of community, the kids and so forth, that's not the liability as a HIPAA liability to any of us. Does that answer your question?
I know every state's a little bit different. I thought so, but I wanted to just double check, be safe than sorry. Working in the field in real life, not to be a pest, but I just want to be safe.
Sure.
So if I won't go down the HIPAA road. Jay's already, you know, groaning over there, but there's no expectation in privacy in a public park, so just to clarify that.
Go ahead, Kurt.
HIPAA compliance officer for the healthcare center. So you probably got one of your more knowledgeable.
They can't hear you. Can you come up to the mic?
Up here so that people are
Uh-huh.
Do that slowly. All right, I take your time. If I fall, he's got to pick me up. We prefer not having. Well, okay. You know, what a bunch of nice people here. As the former HIPAA compliance officer, those grounds that are used publicly also our clients can use publicly. So intermixing people that are, you know, clients in public is not a HIPAA violation. If we were taking their medical records and handing out names and information and all sorts of stuff like that, that would be a compliance issue. The fact that people commingle, matter of fact, that's encouraged under all these rules and stuff so that they can return to normal society and stuff like that from their treatment or whatever they're receiving at the healthcare center. Other questions?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Hobble back.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to updates on county ethics and ordinance and code by Susan.
Thank you, Chair. If you recall, a couple of months ago, you had asked me to come up every 2 months, come forward and just give you an update. I just wanted to give you a very brief update. It won't take more than a moment. We've had 2 executive finance meetings where we have discussed HIPAA, excuse me.
Right.
I'm sorry about that. That we've discussed ethics, the model code. We've reviewed the WCA code. There was a vote this last executive finance to start drafting a county version of the WCA's recommended ethics code or model code of conduct, I should say, and then to continue and start working on definitions regarding the ethics in total. So it's moving forward. It's going to be a little bit of a process. Next month, I will bring that Trempealeau County Code of Conduct to look at in some of the definitions. I think that's going to be an ongoing process throughout it, you know, as we talk about and we go to exec finance and we have the definitions. Well, what do we want then next? And then are these definitions appropriate for what we want to go forward with? So there's going to be some evolution with that. And I can say that we're going to have to tweak some of our chapter 2 a little bit just because of organization. If you take a look at your particular section, just to make it a little bit more streamlined. And just as a FYI, if I'm in chapter 2 and I'm looking at it, I notice a typo, I'm trying to fix those along the way. So that might come up throughout that process. Any questions at all?
Have you checked with WCA to find out what other counties have these?
A lot. I haven't done a numerical check, but a lot of counties have these
I'd be
types of
curious
ethics.
just to know out of
Yeah,
some
I
of the
can
counties.
ask. I think it's really common. I mean, if you Google, you know, Wisconsin County's ethics code or ethics ordinance, you could probably pull up a lot, but I don't have an exact percentage. I can see if the WCA has one though. Has a number on that.
Excuse me if I can, one other point, the Counties Association does have a model one out there for us to look at as a starting point.
Any other questions at all?
Hearing none, we'll go on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Item 6, resolutions, Exec Finance, Law Enforcement, and Property Committee. Authorize the addition of 19 bunks in the Trempealeau County Jail and to allocate $9,500 from the general fund to the appropriate fund. Save the numbers.
Whereas the Trumpealeau County Jail is currently operating near capacity, and the Sheriff's Office has projected a continued increase in the jail population in the coming months. And whereas in order to proactively address the population growth and maintain safe and secure operations in accordance with Wisconsin jail standards, the addition of 19 permanent bunks is necessary. And whereas the cost of purchasing and installing the additional bunks is estimated to be $9,500. And whereas Trempealeau County recognizes the urgency of this need and the importance of maintaining compliance with state jail regulations and best practices in correctional facility management. Now, be it resolved that the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors hereby approves the addition of 19 bunks to the Trempealeau County Jail and authorizes the allocation of the $9,500 from the general fund to cover all related expenses. Be it further resolved that the Trempealeau County Sheriff's Office will work in coordination with the County Maintenance Department to ensure timely and proper installation of the bunks. Introduced by Property Committee, Executive Finance Committee, and Law Enforcement Committee. Robert Becker, Dick Miller, Renee Lyon, Richard Anderson, Richard Seisha, David Larson, Bridget Turner, John Austin, Robert Becker, Richard Seisha, Ron Johnson, Stacy Klein, Andy Todd, Don Waldera, Kevin Whalen.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Turner, I think it was. Seconded by Richard Anderson, seconded by Anderson. Any comments? Go ahead.
I just want to commend Brett for taking the initiative, Brett, on this and going to see elsewhere other than going through the people that actually built the jail and going out of house more and taking the initiative and getting a good price, really. And something that some of the other people don't know probably is, like Brett said, that at the end of the year, anything extra you have from housing the inmates goes back into the general fund. So it'll probably end up going back into there anyway, because I think you said 250,000, you said, about is what you figure you'll get. And if this does go through, you'll be over that by easily over $10,000. So I think we're pretty safe with this.
We're getting
But
our-
he got it $40,000 cheaper than what, so he saved, so he did a good job. Thank you, Brett.
And he's getting the money back through the general fund too. So we're paying a little bit out, but we're getting it back. So, and he got it the cheapest he could. I think that's very efficient.
Go ahead. Why don't you?
Appreciate that.
Good evening. So this came much sooner than we all anticipated, and I just want everybody to hear that. When we opened the doors, it was intended to be a 76-bed facility, expandable up to a 98-bed facility, and a 50-year solution. And we're a year and a half into it, and we're talking about adding beds already. So I kind of want to address that. So the reason we're at capacity currently is because we are housing between 10 and 15 inmates out of county for other counties right now. It's not because of our own county inmate population is growing that much. And I think it's important to point out that that's why we're at capacity now. And we have the potential to increase those earnings because a neighboring county is considering closing their jail and contracting all of their beds with us. So I propose this just to be ready sooner than later, so that we don't have to come back and this has been probably a 2-month-long process, and you can imagine if they pull the trigger and say let's do it now, well then we got to wait 2 more months to get it done. So that's why we're proposing it now. We have a local business that has given us an extremely good bid, I believe, and I believe the time is right to do this, just because of the conditions that are present, not because we're full already after only being open for a year and a half. So I just want to point that out. So.
That's great.
Yes.
Is there any update from that neighboring county on what's happening with those? Is there any change as far as from the last law enforcement meeting?
Just that it's still moving forward in pretty serious discussions. That's the only update I have. So I was told by the sheriff that it could be as soon as September, so. That was 3 weeks ago now, probably.
What's our completion date look like as far as if this resolution passes?
I don't have it right in front of me,
Yeah.
but I believe they're talking a matter of a couple weeks.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah.
Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
And Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yeah,
Dawn Waldera,
not here.
She was on.
She was online originally.
No,
Sorry, my mouse was off and I couldn't get it to work.
Okay.
Took a nap.
I'm here. Yes.
All right.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
Dave Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Sasha.
Yes.
Lori Severson,
Yes.
Andy Todd,
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
17-0.
If I could point out one more thing,
Yeah.
I would love to take the credit, but I'm going to give the credit to Jeremy because he really took the project and drove the bids outside of the construction company. So that we used, Jeremy was pretty instrumental in that. So thanks.
Good. Item B, Exec Finance Committee, delegating the authority to enter into settlement agreements with opioid defendants to designate Trempealeau County Board Chair.
Whereas the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors previously authorized Trempealeau County, hereafter the county, to enter into an engagement agreement with Von Brazen and Roper, SC, Kruger Dickinson, LLC, and Simmons Hanley Conroy, LLP, the law firms, to pursue litigation against certain manufacturers, distributors, and retailers of opioid pharmaceuticals, known as the opioid defendants, in an effort to hold the opioid defendants financially responsible for the county's vast expenditure of money and resources to combat the opioid epidemic. Whereas on behalf of the county, the law firm filed a lawsuit against the opioid defendants. Whereas the law firms filed similar lawsuits on behalf of 66 other Wisconsin counties, and all Wisconsin cases were coordinated with thousands of other lawsuits filed against the same or substantially similar parties as the opioid defendants in the Northern District of Ohio, captioned in RE Opioid Litigation, MDL 2804, the litigation. Whereas 4 additional Wisconsin counties, Milwaukee, Dane, Waukesha, and Walworth, hired separate counsel and joined the litigation. Whereas since the inception of the litigation, the law firms have coordinated with counsel from around the country, including counsel from Milwaukee, Dane, Waukesha, and Walworth counties, to prepare the county's case for trial and engage in settlement discussions with the opioid defendants. Whereas 2021 Wisconsin Act 57 created Section 165.12 of the Wisconsin statutes relating to the settlement of all or part of the litigation. Whereas pursuant of Wisconsin Statute 165.12 parentheses 2, the legislature's Joint Committee on Finance is required to approve settlement agreement between the county and opioid defendants. Whereas pursuant of Wisconsin Statute 165.12 parentheses 2, the proceeds from any settlement of all or part of the litigation are distributed 70% to local governments in Wisconsin that are parties to the litigation and 30% to the state. Whereas Wisconsin Statutes 165.12 parentheses 7 bars claims from any Wisconsin local government against the opioid defendants filed after June 1st, 2021. Whereas several of the opioid defendants previously agreed to settlement terms with the Plaintiffs' Executive Committee, PEC, which is comprised of attorneys representative of all litigating local governments around the country, subject to individual approval of the litigating local governments, including Trempealeau County. Whereas representatives of the law firm serve on the PEC and therefore are intimately familiar with the terms of the previous settlements and will be familiar with the terms of any settlement with any of the other opioid defendant recommended for approval by the PEC. Whereas it is anticipated that several additional settlements will be proposed by various opioid defendants and recommended for approval by the PEC. Whereas Trempealeau County's process for approving settlement with an opioid defendant is typically a process requiring weeks for committee review and approval, as well as approval by the full Trempealeau County Board. Whereas given concerns surrounding timing for participation in future settlements combined with the number of anticipated settlements, it would be prudent to provide an opportunity for the county to create a process whereby the authority to enter into settlement agreements is delegated to a responsible county officer or officers, provided that any such settlement agreement is recommended by the PEC and the law firms. And whereas the intent of this resolution is to delegate to the specified county officer or officers the authority to enter into settlement agreements with any opioid defendant from the date of this resolution forward, provided A, the settlement is recommended for approval by the PEC and the law firms, and B, the Trempealeau County share of proceeds from any such settlement is consistent with the shares established in Addendum 2, a copy of which is attached to this resolution, and which is consistent with the allocations established in previous settlements with opioid defendants. Now therefore be it resolved, the Trempealeau County Board hereby makes the following resolutions. Number 1, the county board hereby delegates authority to the county board chair to enter into a settlement agreement, including without limitation the execution of any and all ancillary documents and agreements necessary to effectuate a settlement with any opioid defendant, provided A, the PEC and the law firms shall have recommended the settlement, and B, the Trempealeau County share of proceeds from any such settlement is consistent with the shares established in Addendum 2, a copy of which is attached to this resolution, and which is consistent with the allocations established in the previous settlements with opioid defendants. Should the board chair be unavailable or unable to perform, the vice chair may perform set herein. Should the vice chair be unavailable or unable to perform, the administrator may perform as set forth herein upon advance notice to the County Board of Supervisors. Number 2, prior to executing any settlement agreement or any document related thereto, the board chair shall consult with Corporation Counsel about proposed settlement and terms related thereto, and shall provide notice to the administrator, Corporation Counsel, and County Board upon execution. David Larson, Robert Becker, John Austin, Richard Seisha, Bridget Turner.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
That was kind of a mouthful.
Very detailed.
Good job, Mary.
I
You did good, Mary.
Any discussion at all?
Well, I'd like Mary to read the first 2
Did you miss
pages
part of
again.
it?
Just for our information,
I bet.
there is still opiate money coming in, and this is pertinent to that fact.
That is correct. And so this originally came, if I may,
Go ahead.
sorry. This originally came through, or the catalyst was the Sandoz settlement, but soon afterwards, the Sackler settlement was right behind it. And we actually have another matter that relates to some of those defendants that were named in the May resolution. And so we're going to get a lot of documents coming here going forward. And so this was just a way to make it faster and more efficient, rather than going through the committees again and again. And, you know, I think it was last month, or maybe it was the month before, we received that resolution after exec finance, but we needed to vote on it before our county board. So this hopefully will allow for a more efficient and transparent process as well. It still requires county board notice. So if there is a document signed, then there's still the provision that notice has to be given to everybody here.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I got a question. How does it work when it comes to, it goes from chair to vice chair to administrator? So if the chair dies, then he goes to vice chair? I mean, how does it work? It's not even described. You make a phone call, he doesn't answer, okay, now it goes to the vice?
No,
I mean, that's what
no,
I'm saying.
I would
What's the
fall-
definition on that?
I would fall back on your standing rules, where it talks about whether there's incapacity and things like that. So I would go back and fall back on chapter 2. Yep.
Okay, any other comments? Not? Let's call the roll.
Kellen Nelson,
Kellen?
Kellen, you're on mute.
This is really hard. Yes.
I'm surprised you're even awake after the fair.
I decided to stay home. Yes, that is my answer.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seychelle.
Yes.
Lori Severson. Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller.
Yes.
Kevin Whalen.
Yes.
John Austin.
Yes.
Don Waldera.
Yes.
Robert Becker.
Yes.
Renee Lyon.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay. Item C, Audit Committee, claims of members.
Whereas the audit committee has audited the following claims and recommend that they be allowed as follows. John Austin, $1,500, $1,510.20. Kevin Adams, $142. Richard Anderson, $817. Robert Becker, $683.40. Ron Johnson, $459.60. Stacy Klein, $143.40. David Larson, $964. Renee Lyon, $250. Dick Miller, $172.40. Kellen Nelson, $458.20. Jeannie Nutter, $986.60. Richard Seychelle, $236.40. Lori Severson, $0. Andy Todd, $356.80. Bridget Turner, $974. Don Waldera, $179.40. Kevin Whalen, $128. A total per diem of $6,100. A total expenses of $2,361.40 for a grand total of $8,461.40. Now be it resolved that these claims be allowed as shown, introduced by Audit Committee John Austin, David Larson, Jeannie Nutter.
Motion by Supervisor Johnson, second by Supervisor Whalen.
Becker, Audie Becker, second the motion.
Oh, sorry, I knew it
We're-
came from
we're-
that.
we're almost
I knew it came from that
identical over
direction.
Well, that's all right. We'll just make sure we get it right. We do it right.
All right,
Good job, Audie.
why don't you call the roll?
Andy Todd,
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Don Waldera,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon.
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seychelle.
Yes.
Lori Severson.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay. Any appointments or elections, any announcements? Nothing?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
if I could have just a second for our meeting this evening, a couple of things I want to make sure we clear up. First of all, on the strategic plan review,
Yeah.
the document, very professionally done and stuff, I'd like to be included on that document. It listed the supervisors, and I was not listed. So I would like to be listed on that document in there. That was kind of important in my mind. But it wasn't any place good on the agenda I could bring it up. Second item, Sarah Torbert wasn't able to make it this evening. I do want to emphasize the fact that the UW Extension annual report did not include anything on the agricultural position. And we did put it out. We did have interviews. I'd like to have agriculture still included as far as the report. I think that we had a lot of great things happen that didn't get listed. In case you don't know, we still have volunteers that are doing the work of the extension agent. Right now, between the three counties, Buffalo, Trempealeau, and Jackson, we had instructed over 60 people in safety, volunteer basis. But the Wisconsin legislature deems the fact that the extension agent is in charge of that. Seeing the three counties do not have an extension agent due to circumstances of their choosing, at the extension level, I do think we should still include in the annual report those successes. I know it was just an error that they didn't get included. I know it's important that you guys realize agriculture is a $291 million economy here in Trempealeau County. And we talk economic development, but why not foster the economy we have? Why don't we bring in specialists, especially since not only with the safety concerns, the chemical concerns, along with the fact that we've had tremendous economic challenges in agriculture and we've been lacking in Trempealeau County. If you understand the pure prairie processing challenge, in the past we had challenges like that that developed over the last 100 years that we had an extension ag agent and they were dealt with through the assistance of the professionalism of the ag agent. Now we don't have one. There were farmers contacting me constantly through the position I had previously, what's happening with Trempealeau County? They normally lead the state. And all of a sudden now, there's a vacant seat. Pure Prairie, we had over 30 individuals. We made national news because the birds did not get fed. We had to find something to do. No leadership from Trempealeau County. If you realize Trempealeau County has led in the discovery farms, we've led in extension, we've led in water quality, all those things that we want to have in Trempealeau County, past history, we've had that leadership. If you look at Dennis Frame and the work he did starting the Wisconsin Discovery, if you look at some of those other individuals in the other counties, you start looking at the successes we've had, that's one of the reasons why we have a successful environmental control in our area. In case you didn't know, 1988, July, we had the highest reading in the nation historically in atrazine in Trempealeau County. There were about 6 initiatives, all of them started by the Extension Office to try to conserve and protect our environment. I'm worried what's going to happen if we leave that position open. Now, they did interview, I know that for a fact. They did go through the motions, but I believe we need to support and keep it in the annual report what is being done extension agriculture. If you look at the document presented to you, there is actually 0 as far as pages dedicated to agriculture in the extension. In my mind, we need to change that. Not only because of the fact that it is a driving force in our industry, but 100 years of success should not be eliminated by a county board that doesn't acknowledge it in the annual report. Talked more than I should have, feel strongly. In extension and ag education work for 35 years, I cannot ignore it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good job.
It was the Trempealeau River at Dodge, 26 parts per million surface of atrazine. It was a big scare in the area for those of us that were here.
You're doing just the opposite, turning your mic off and on.
I was only 6 months old, sorry, I don't remember.
That's why I bring it up. Everybody's got to learn. I'm an educator. I'm in charge of that.
Mr. Chair,
Good job, Kim. Yes, go ahead.
while I think everything that you said, I appreciate the information and all of it, and maybe we can pursue it on an agenda because we can't make a decision and it's not listed on our agenda. I think there would be many community members that would appreciate hearing those types of things. So I would request we put it on a future agenda and move forward with it.
Thank you, Bridget. But, Mr. Chair, the reason I'm bringing it up is so that the annual report isn't in error. There are many great things happening in agriculture on the extension level, but it's not being performed by a hired agent right now. We're doing a lot of the material. We just need to make sure it's included in the annual report. It's the only reason I brought it up, Bridget. And that is, I did not want to add an agenda item.
Okay, sounds good. Committee reports, Exec Finance, budget update and county sales tax, they're both in your packet. Anybody want to go through them or not? I don't think we touched anything on the only thing that's gonna be coming out of the general fund will be that $9,500. And sales tax are up.
Yep.
Very good, so,
Still continuing to be above budget, which
yeah.
pleasantly surprising.
This is also from the Exec Finance Committee, discussion update on county supervisor payroll. That's the question we had before, where you've got to, go ahead.
Okay, so on your agenda, you guys always pass the resolution that the audit committee approves of your claims. That is for your claims from last month. Now, at the end, it says, instruct clerk to pay mileage and per diem. That's telling Mary to have me pay you tomorrow. And that's kind of hard sometimes, because I don't know if you're all here, or you're virtual, or nobody's there, and then I gotta watch the meeting. So it was Mary's idea to come up with me paying you guys on the next regular payroll run. So instead of me cutting your checks tomorrow morning, which I've started your payroll, it'll happen this time. But next time, we'd like it to go with our regular payroll run, so we're all in one big chunk instead of individually. Just so you know, normally, like you meet August 18th, you'll be paid the 22nd. September's the 15th, you'll be paid the 19th. But when we get to October, your meeting's the 20th, and I won't pay you till the 31st. So just so you're aware of that little change we want to make, Becky said we should bring it to you guys and let you decide if that was okay.
You bring me lunch for a few days there in October?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go without, you're gonna have to have hot dogs.
Pick up another job.
Okay.
Actually, when Mary was looking into this, she found a piece of paper from 1991, I think. That was when it was changed to pay you guys directly the next day after the meeting. So it's time for change.
Yes, go ahead.
Or question, I guess. So the plan is eventually for the supervisors to submit to you this information on our own.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and when do you think that might be implemented? Roughly, I don't expect a date. Or maybe you can't give me a date at this point.
I'm hoping by this winter that we'll have you guys set up. We want to get everybody here and how we're going first, and then we're going to figure out you guys. What we would like is you're going to have your own account on UKG. That's how you're going to see your payroll stub. But it'd be great if you entered your meeting in there and told me if you were there or virtual or not. That is our long-term, it's a short-term goal, but
I think that's a good idea.
we got other things to worry about first.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is pay you for this meeting tomorrow. But on your meeting schedules for this coming, I want you to start writing county board meeting on there. So then I will pay you for all of July's meetings in August and all of August's meetings in September, which will include the county board meeting, just so it's easier for me keeping track of who's here, who's virtual, who's not.
I think that only makes sense.
Sounds like we're all in agreement, but we'll.
Sounds good to me.
I don't think we need any action, but do we need to change how we set up the agenda? Do they have to still stay instruct clerk to pay mileage and per diem? Do you know, Susan, or should we still just stick with the resolution since it will all be on that?
I think either way, excuse me, I think either way is fine. I think if we want to keep with the resolutions, we can do that. That should memorialize what's being paid. But I don't know if we need to do both of them, because it does seem like it's a duplication.
Okay, maybe me, Mary, and Susan and Rebecca can figure something out, how we would like to go forward. Does that sound okay with you guys?
on the deck.
Okay? We just want to make sure everybody knows what you're getting paid, you know?
Yep.
Okay.
Rocco was eating blueberries that are on the ground.
All right.
Jeannie, we can
Sorry,
hear.
y'all are hearing what's going on in my house. The dog is in.
Okay, this is calls for a roll because there's money involved, so you want to call the roll?
Sure, yeah.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson.
Fell asleep again.
Yes.
Poor guy.
David
It's getting
Larson.
late.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter.
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner.
Yes.
Stacy Klein.
Yes.
Richard Seisha.
Yes.
Lori Severson.
Yes.
Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller.
Yes.
Kevin Whalen.
Yes.
John Austin.
Yes.
Don Waldera.
Yes.
Robert Becker.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay, item C, Department of Health and Human Services, creation of 2 new positions, a lead fiscal associate and a records custodian. Both of these are 100% and 100% funded with no impact on county levy.
Correct. So we've talked about this at the Health and Human Services Board, also at Personnel Bargaining, and at Exec Finance. And so this is kind of the final step in the process. I just wanted to, as John said, you know, these positions are both fully funded today and for the rest of this year, and then also on an ongoing basis as well. So, and the reason I'm asking for these is because we've got some workload gaps in the department where we're really bumping up against deadlines, and sometimes we're at risk of not capturing all the revenue that we should be to make sure that our operations are sufficiently funded, I guess. So, so workload gaps, we want to get more proactive and get more processes in place because every department has turnover, and people are probably sick of me saying, but I want to get SOPs in place so that we can replicate that when we do have turnover. So that, and then risk mitigation, obviously, for funding and for other things. You know, when we get records requests as well, you know, that's pretty important, especially when it goes through the court system or other entities that are looking for information as well. So it's addressing some gaps that we have in our department. The funding's there, the time seems right. That's why I'm asking you kind of mid-year here, because we've identified some of these critical gaps right now that if we don't take action and wait till the end of the year, you know, through the normal budget cycle, we really run the risk of missing some deadlines. So I wanted to put that out there, and funding, I've tried to lay that out a little bit. So I guess maybe I'll start with whatever questions you might have that are out there. Tried to give you as much information as I could.
Good.
Sometimes it's too much, probably.
No question. Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
You're too late.
Then I'll second.
All right.
Thanks, Jeannie.
Supervisor Whalen, Supervisor Nutter, second. Any discussion at all? There are questions for Jay? Hearing none?
Jay,
Oh, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair. Jay, can you just explain, obviously I'm aware, but I think this would help the supervisors understand these positions much better, but can you just briefly go into the capturing of those funds and what's currently going on where the social workers and
Right. So right now, our fiscal manager is Kelly Sweat, and she, it kind of feels like she's always running to catch up here, and we need kind of her right-hand person here to somebody who is knowledgeable in more like the generally accepted accounting principles, but also state funding, that we can teach them to do that, and backup. I mean, right now, if something happens to Kelly, we don't have somebody with a higher level of knowledge and a depth of knowledge that we'd kind of be starting from scratch, except for what I know and the other supervisors know in our department. So it's really critical that we get that lead fiscal associate in there. And we want to kind of divide and conquer, plus that person can either work on processes and kind of memorializing things in SOPs, or free up Kelly to do the same thing. There's a lot of things that are institutional knowledge that we need to get on paper, metaphorically anyway. And so that's, like I say, when we have that turnover or new programs, or there's workload to be done, that we can handle that. The records custodian, I know Susan's happy about that, because we do have a lot of requests that only get attention when we have time, and that's not a good way to approach anything. We want to be more systematic about that, and then they can also help us be more proactive about organizing our records and naming conventions, and like all the details and the minutia But it's really important because we need to be able to be organized and recall those too. So, sorry if that's too
And-
long-winded.
No, that's fine, but also that the state had recommended this, and there's many counties that utilize these positions to recapture expenses and keep everything well organized.
Right.
So I'm glad we're moving towards that, and I'm very glad that it's not levy dollars.
Well, and the state even said, they said, put the support positions you need in there because they said, we don't intend for the county to have to pay for some of these programs, the extra support dollars. They said some of the mandated services, ironically, they don't provide enough funding. But for some of these programs that I'm talking about, they're fully funded and it's a good thing, so.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll call a roll.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Sasha.
Yes.
Lori Severson.
Yes.
Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller.
Yes.
Kevin Whalen.
Yes.
John Austin.
Yes.
Dawn Waldera.
Yes.
Robert Becker.
Yes.
Renee Lyon.
Yes.
Callan Nelson.
Yes.
17-0.
Item 9, I had no correspondence. Did you have any? No correspondence. Item 10, looking for a motion to instruct the clerk to pay mileage and per diem.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Johnson, second by Supervisor Becker. Call the roll.
Dick Miller.
Yes.
Kevin Whalen.
Yes.
John Austin.
Yes.
Dawn Waldera.
Yes.
Robert Becker.
Yes.
Renee Lyon.
Yes.
Callan Nelson.
Yes.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter.
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner.
Yes.
Stacy Klein.
Yes.
Richard Sasha.
Yes.
Lori Severson.
Yes.
Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
17-0.
That being the last item on the agenda, I'll adjourn at 8:36.